Hi, welcome to another episode. Today I want to talk about something that's very, very close to my heart when it comes to working with EAL students. So, the topic for today is Maslow before Bloom. So, the names Maslow and Bloom are often the topic of debate and discussion in educational circles. Lately, however, Bloom seems to lead the way as we scramble for data to back up the funding, the infrastructure, and the business demands of our schools. While not necessarily a negative thing, are we becoming increasingly focused on academic success rather than the human needs of our students? Is it possible to achieve that success if our fundamental needs are overlooked? What does this mean for our EAL students? Let's revisit this for a moment. Abraham Maslow was an American psychologist who created the of needs to help us make sense of human motivation for success. According to Maslow, the pyramid begins with the universal needs that all humans require in order to gain the higher level of emotional needs. He believed that in order for us to be motivated to reach the next stage, we must sort of satisfy the preceding stage. However, newer research suggests that the stages are not strictly in hierarchical, but may continuously overlap each other. So Maslow's hierarchy begins with the base of physiological needs that we must have for mere survival, such as food, shelter, clean water, sleep, and so on. Next comes safety and security, where our physical and mental well being is protected by our environment and the people around us. We move on to feeling loved and feeling that sense of belonging to our family, community, and the world at large. When these three needs are somewhat stable, then we begin to build self confidence, and then we begin to fulfill our need for self esteem because we have become now more independent and more confident. Then we start to seek respect and recognition for our efforts. Finally, we reach the peak of the pyramid and grasp the need for self actualization. We have the strength then and the desire to become the best version of ourselves. Benjamin Bloom was also an American psychologist. He contributed to the classification and theory of mastery learning. Bloom's taxonomy remains the foundation upon which many other educational strategies have been built, and we continue. Benjamin Bloom's taxonomy focuses on how we as learners follow a hierarchy again when learning new things. We begin by remembering facts and new ideas. We then move on to understanding this new knowledge, and then we only after we've understood, we begin to apply and then analyze our latest insights. We begin to go deeper and gain the ability to experiment and practice higher order thinking skills, such as evaluating and creating original work using our newfound mastery. Let's think about this for a moment. Along with other languages and cultural knowledge, what do our EAL students bring into our classrooms? Most EAL students around the world are either refugees or migrants. They carry within their DNA trauma from wars, colonization, displacement, loss of family and friends, uncertainty, fear, anxiety, and this list probably does not have an end. How would you feel if you instantaneously lost your basic needs, security, family, culture, language, and a sense of belonging? Imagine that you're forced to leave the only home you have ever known, and then you are sent to a new country where you have no choice but to learn a new language, eat strange foods that sometimes make you sick, and learn new social norms and behavior. Looking at Maslow's hierarchy, our EAL students may have experienced a lack of physiological needs, safety, and most importantly, belonging. Is it then possible for them to even try to begin at remembering their new learning? The big question is, can we learn if our brains are constantly in the flight, fight, or freeze mode? Let's think about that for a moment. So, how do we then help our EAL learners? We can begin by checking their enrollment information. Amongst many other things, we need to know their background, the cultural and linguistic background that they are bringing with them, the reason they left their place of birth, how many countries they have had to travel through before arriving in our classrooms. Have they had opportunities to attend school before or during their escape or migration? What was happening in the surroundings during their mother's pregnancy and childbirth? How many family members have they lost? Do they know what has happened to them? What is their current family situation? And what kind of support is available within our schools and outside our schools in the community that we can help them to access? Our biggest superpower is our empathy and the way we communicate with our EAL students. Time is a crucial and necessary factor. We need to slow down and give our students a few weeks at least to settle in, to feel safe, and to trust that they are in a more stable environment with a teacher who understands and cares about their well being. It takes time to learn that there will be enough food in the canteen, even if we wait in line. We do not need to shove and push like we did in the refugee camps so our family could eat for the night. It takes time to understand that the school bell or siren does not mean that we are in danger and that we need to run and hide. Our teachers will allow us to ask questions without repercussions. We can run and play freely without fear of capture. It takes time, and while the time moves forward, so will our students. As they relax and release some of their pain and fear, they will begin to feel safe and enjoy their new learning. And just then, when much of Maslow has been embraced, we can begin to use Bloom's taxonomy to take them on their new journey of learning. Good luck.